Well, church may look a little bit different for you right at the moment. Whether you're in someone else's home or your own home with other people, but make sure you get together with others and don't miss out on church.
You might even have church online in a weird place.
We're gone bush.
Yeah. Just make sure that you get in touch with other people. And we would love to hear from you. We can suggest places where other people are meeting, and we can give you ideas on how to do church at home the best way possible.
Hey everyone, welcome to CauseWay Kids. Glad you're here. This month we're looking at showing compassion to other people, showing how much we care for those in our neighbourhood.
Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's need. Today we're in Kaiwaka. Yeah, that's our hometown. And I'm going to be asking Malcolm some questions to see what his favourite places in Kaiwaka are. Malc, what's your very favourite place to go in Kaiwaka?
Oh, down by the river's really cool. Kayaking and swimming.
Which shop do you think is the best in Kaiwaka?
The best store in Kaiwaka? Well, of course, it's the Four Square.
Malc, where's your favourite place to eat?
Utopia is one of my favourites. It's so creative. It's got really good food and coffee. Our town is full of amazing people and amazing places.
So let's all stand to our feet and sing to God and remember how important it is to love one another.
That's what we'll do. Love one another, love one another with a love like no other that we found in you. Love one another, yeah, love one another, that's what we'll do. We're alive to love one another. We're alive with a love like no other. We're alive
And this is my block. Okay, so I don't actually live here, but isn't this the coolest little town? Almost everyone you know lives in a neighborhood. Of course, what your neighborhood looks like may be different from someone else's. You may live in this kind of neighborhood. A lawn to mow, swing set in the backyard, lemonade stand in the driveway. Or maybe your neighborhood is more like this. Everything you need is within walking distance from your home. Or some neighborhoods could be like, hello out there! But every neighborhood has one thing in common: neighbors! They've all got people. And whenever there are people around, that's when you need to know about compassion. Compassion is caring enough to do something about someone else's need. Because the people on your block have all kinds of needs. When they get sick, they need a doctor. If they want to learn how to add and subtract, they need a teacher. If they lose a cat up a tree, they need someone with a really big ladder. These three have made it their purpose on Earth to care about people in their neighborhoods. In today's story, we're going to hear about Jesus' purpose on Earth, and maybe ours too. I'm not really sure what I want my purpose to be. I just hope I get my own action figure. Yee! I'll see you in a bit.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 4, verses 14 through 30.
Even though Jesus was on this earth for 33 years, there's still not much we know about his first 30 years. We do know that he visited Jerusalem for the Passover feast with his parents. He learned carpentry skills from his father Joseph. And when he was about 30, he went down to the Jordan River and asked his cousin John to baptize him in the water.
It is right for us to do this. It carries out God's holy plan.
As Jesus rose from the water, God's voice called out from heaven,
"This is my son, and I love him. I am very pleased with him."
It was an incredible way for Jesus to begin his ministry. After 40 days in the wilderness alone with God, Jesus returned to Galilee, filled with the Spirit of God. Anytime he visited a new town, he went to the place of worship, the synagogue, to teach the people.
You are the light of the world.
Isn't he just the bee's knees?
Everywhere Jesus went, people were amazed and praised his teaching. That is, until he got to Nazareth, the town where he had grown up.
Well, if it isn't Carpenter Boy Jesus!
Hey man, where you been?
We hear you talk real big now.
On the Sabbath day, Jesus went into the synagogue. An attendant handed him a rolled papyrus.
The scroll of Isaiah.
Isaiah was a prophet who lived hundreds of years before Jesus, and God had spoken to Isaiah about a Messiah who would come to rescue God's people, and Isaiah had written down every word.
Watch that papyrus as you unroll it. A bit crackly.
Jesus stood before the crowd of worshipers and unrolled the scroll until he came to the right place.
The Spirit of the Lord is on me. He has anointed me to announce the good news to poor people. He has sent me to announce freedom for prisoners. He has sent me so that the blind will see again. He wants me to set free those who are treated badly. And he has sent me to announce the year when he will set his people free.
There was silence as Jesus rolled up the scroll and sat back down. Everyone stared.
Today, this passage of Scripture is coming true as you listen.
Jesus hadn't just read some dry, dusty, ancient words. Jesus had declared that he was God's Messiah, that he was there to announce good news and bring freedom to the poor, the hurting, and those who had been mistreated.
But he's Joseph's son, isn't he? He can't be the Messiah.
What I'm about to tell you is true. A prophet is not accepted in his hometown.
words are easy.
He calls himself a prophet? I studied with him on those benches right over there.
Thinks he's something special because he can read a scroll.
All around the synagogue, people rose to their feet, glaring. They turned on Jesus.
You are not welcome here anymore.
That's right.
We don't need you making things up.
The people were so angry they forced Jesus out of the synagogue. He allowed them to herd him straight through the village, all the way to a cliff on the edge of town.
Get rid of him!
Throw him down!
But Jesus simply turned and looked at the people, sorrow in his eyes. The men and women that he'd known and loved growing up wouldn't accept who he was. The crowd couldn't face Jesus. In their anger, they had missed the whole point, that Jesus had come to make things right for those who were hurting and overlooked. Jesus walked right through the crowd, away from the cliff edge. They parted to let him go through. Then he left Nazareth and went on to Capernaum, where he continued to carry out his mission.
When Jesus was here, he had a mission to announce the good news to people who needed to hear it and to care about people who'd been treated badly or had been overlooked. He came to heal, to teach, and to rescue. That was his purpose. And Jesus fulfilled that purpose when he died on the cross for the sins of the whole world. That's how much compassion he has. That's how much he cares for us. So, if we're going to follow Jesus, that doesn't mean we literally have to walk where Jesus walked. But it does mean that we should have a similar purpose. We should care about others. Your purpose might be to heal. When someone isn't feeling well, maybe you can do something to help them feel better. Or when someone is having a hard time understanding something, you can help teach them. Or you can rescue someone from danger. You can be a hero. And guess what? You don't have to be a doctor or a teacher or a firefighter to care about others. You can care about the people on your block right now. You know how? You can lend a hand to someone who needs one. You can make somebody laugh. Or you can listen. Or you can just be there for someone who's all alone. Jesus cared so much for other people, and we should too. That's why the one thing to remember today is this. Following Jesus means caring about others. That's true in your neighborhood and in mine. I've got my own action figure. Spitting image. Close enough. I'll see you next time. Can you play me? Okay, thanks.
Everyone thought Jesus was going to be a carpenter, just like his dad. But really, he was so much more.
It was pretty amazing that Jesus was speaking from a scroll. A scroll is a rolled up piece of paper, and nowadays we keep scrolls in something like this. But the really amazing thing was that Jesus was speaking about something that Isaiah said hundreds of years beforehand, and Isaiah was actually speaking about Jesus. That's incredible. God really knew what he was doing, and he helped Jesus to speak with compassion to the people.
And wasn't that amazing that the people were ready to throw rocks at Jesus? And Jesus, right on the edge of the cliff, just walked right through.
This wall behind me is solid as a rock. It's holding up a lot of weight. It's not going anywhere. When you're playing the game of Jenga, it's also pretty solid when you put all the pieces of wood together. It only starts to shake and wobble as you pull the pieces out. And I guess this wall here, if you started to pull pieces out, it would start to shake and wobble a little bit too. But God's love is unshakable. He loves you so much. And he loves you so much that he sent Jesus down to show you that incredible love and compassion. So when we want to know how to be compassionate to other people, we can look to God. We can look to Jesus. We can see how they've done it before us in the past and right now in us. Jesus gives us the perfect example of how we can care for others.
The truth is, Jesus cared a lot for other people. His entire purpose was to help and to rescue other people.
Jesus lived a life of compassion. He saw those people who were normally overlooked, who people didn't really notice, and he healed their hurts.
When we follow Jesus, he teaches us to live that way too. Following Jesus means caring about others.
Let's look for ways to show compassion this week and show others that we care.
Talk about it with your whānau and see what you can come up with this week. Following Jesus means caring about others.
I love it when other people show compassion towards me. It makes me feel important. And I want to show compassion back to other people as well.
And that's what it's all about. See what you can do this week. How can you show compassion to other people and help them to feel really loved? Have a great week.
See you later.
Out there are hurting. So many people who need love. Sometimes I feel a little helpless, like what I have won't be enough. I may not have